How's it going, everyone? We're back to check out the top skins finally again, and just to kind of explain what was going on, we did have a couple weeks of most wanted / complete the list, and those just stayed for Hulk this time. Instead of making it public, it usually makes a lot of drama and this and that also allowed me to skip those weeks for a video. Usually I do a video on the highlight ones, maybe not all of them, because it's hundreds upon hundreds of skins, and, well... It just happened to be a horrible couple of weeks for me. A lot of stuff going on in my personal life. I had some problems with my aquariums that were really bad. And yeah, it just kind of panned out to where I just couldn't get any videos to you guys on those. But they're back. They're here to stay. Don't worry. They're not going away. And if you're new to these videos, not all these skins will ever make it into the shop. Some may never see the shop. It's just 8 or so that get chosen every week. So it's just going to be some of these. So let's start off. We've got Burlap Head Wrap for you. And this one is Cage Head. And the whole... Ooh, a little too far in there. The whole thing just looks like a metal cage of ancient medievalness, with some barbed wire added. Next, we've got a golf cap for you, and the cap itself actually looks like a golf ball, little dimples and all. And yeah, you've got the Cobalt Incorporated Golf Club, established in 2013, which is when Rust was. Well, yeah, so anyways, really awesome to see that kind of like little lore hints and stuff like that put in by the community with their skins. Next, we've got bandana and poncho combo for you, and these are very beautiful. These are the butterflies, poncho, and, well, bandana. I mean, that's pretty straightforward, right? And as you can see, there's butterflies and everything around it with a nice little mesh that has some green plants growing around it with some more butterflies on the back. Next, we've got some hoodie and pants sets for you, and this is the Grim Raider set. It comes in 2 different versions, a green one, which you see here, and then kind of like a grayed out version as well. You can check that down in the description, where I always have a link to the workshop for the skins. But there you go. There's the green version. Next, we've got another hoodie and pants set for you, and it's, well, the reptile set. Should be straightforward for you, and, well, we did see something pop in, so maybe this could become a proper set officially. I don't know, but the hoodie is definitely very cool. It looks like you skinned some kind of, well, it kind of looks like a mutant crocodile, to be honest. So, hey, if that's what they're going for, they did a good job. Next, you might be feeling a little lobstery if you like this one. It's the Lobster Coffee Can Road Sign set, and as you can see, the whole thing, no, it's not just a weird-looking coffee can set that is a little weird color. It's actually lobster plates. And the whole thing looks like it's even tied together with some, like, string. The same kind you'd probably tie off of their claws with if you don't use a rubber band. It's just pretty funny. Next, we've got a set that's inspired by some familiar pieces in Rust, and it's the water jerry cans and the various plastic water bottles, and they've made into armor. It's always really cool to see things like that pop in, and it's very rusty, fits right into the game, and I could see a lot of people liking it if it popped in for that reason. Last but not least, we have a return of the Light Prism set here, and as you can see, there's the prism giving off the rainbow, and it goes all the way around to the suspenders. It's kind of like a version 2, I think, of the high qual, but there you go, and the face mask looks kind of bland from far away, but as you get closer, you can see there's actually some details to it. Next up, we've got our deployables. Starting off, we've got the Hobo Sleeping Bag, and yeah, this thing looks like it really has seen some use there, for sure. Next, we've got another sleeping bag, and, well, it appears to be made out of the hazmat suits of the night vision scientists. So, hey, you can take a few of them out and sleep very smoothly, knowing they have been turned into a sleeping bag. Next over here, we've got some boxes for you. First one up has a very kind of, I would say, jungle kind of ancient stone box look, and, well, it's called the Ancient Stone Box, so that's pretty straightforward there. Next over here, we've got what could potentially be a set, Freestyle Painted Box. So there you go, and this one is for Sulfur. And you can see they kind of have like a banknote thing going on with it. Then over here we have a very kind of elemental box for you. This is the Light Energy Box, version 2, and you can see it has a lot more detail to it. It's definitely a very awesome upgrade. Next over here, we've got a very Adobe looking box for you with the large Adobe box, and we put on Adobe just to give it a little extra matching there. Then over here, we've got number 4 in the tour case set with the armor box. And then last but not least, we have a little speedy car for you with the Speed Racer car. Might have to change the name there since I think Speed Racer is a copyrighted thing in a lot of different places. So there you go. Next over here we've got some furnaces for you. First one has all sorts of little fruits going around and a nice wrapping in banana leaves, and kind of looks like a palm tree stem as the actual furnace. It's the tropical fruit furnace. Then over here we've got something to match with some more adobe with the Eastern Relic furnace. Then over here we have another furnace for you. This one's the mini small refinery. If you look, it does actually have a look that makes it look like a oil refinery. So hey, if you want some kind of match with that, it'd go pretty well in game. Then we have another Adobe looking furnace, and this one's literally the Adobe furnace. There's a glow and a non-glowing version, so we'll be sure to show you the glow here shortly. Then next we have sandbags. Now technically all of the barricades are not supported, but this was done really well and it appears to hold the skin when they stack. So I don't know if it got fixed and just nothing was said, or if they're still not supported, so I'm going to show it anyways. The whole thing looks like an awesome old dirty sandbag, but yeah, they never sell well when the few times they did. And like I said, the devs have said they're unsupported, so don't know if we'll even see this, or if it has a chance. Next we've got doors, as you can see, and we've got a wooden door for you, and well, it's obviously the comic set. We'll go ahead and pop through as it's our only wooden door here, and look at the other side, there's the smiley face. There's always one somewhere. Next over here we've got our sheet metal doors. The first one here is the blocked up sheet metal door. It's meant to kind of look like, hey, it's not a door, it's just kind of blocked up. There's also a glow and a non-glow version, we'll show you. Over here we've got some cool graffiti with the ultraviolet sheet metal door. Next we've got a spaceman with an MP5. It is the spaceman metal door. Next we've got quite the mechanisms going on with the turning machine sheet metal door. And as you can see, lots of different machines. There's even like a input output code here. Cobalt warhead. Oh, okay. Interesting. Then over here, we've got you another kind of boomy door with a nuclear hazard door. Moving on, we have something that kind of looks like a control panel. And, well, it is the metal reactor control panel door. So, there you go. Pretty straightforward. Next, we've got a couple of metal doors that are meant to match up with Adobe. So here you've literally just got the Adobe door by Freddy. Then over here we've got something with a little more pizzazz to it, the otherworldly metal door. Moving on, we've got a continuation to the day and night set with the sheet metal door. So seeing the armored one pop in with the most wanted sets, maybe we'll see the sheet metal pop in. Next over here, no, I'm not showing you a plain door. This one, I don't know if it really has that much of a chance, but it's literally just a sheet metal door with a glow rod added to it. We'll see. I don't know. Do you guys have an interest in something like that? Or is that just too plain? Next over here, we've definitely got something way different with the bubbles. This is the sheet metal door pitfalls. Next, we've got a double sheet metal door for you, and it's the nuke silo. Then over here, we've got another kind of teched out door for you. This is the command starship double door. Moving on, we've got some garage doors for you. The first one here is the Arctic camouflage, of course. Then we've got a cool little garage door with some glow with the car area garage door. Next, we've got an Adobe garage door for you. This one has two different versions, one with and one without glow. Then we've got a very beautiful monument garage door here, and it has a lot of the different monuments on it. A lot of details went into this, and it's definitely a cool looking garage door. Last for garage doors, we have a nice little wooden roller on this piece rainbow garage door to match up with, I believe it's a rainbow double door out there in a single door. I don't know if they're the same person, but hey, they exist. Next, we've got a couple of armored garage doors. That'd be interesting. Armored single doors for you. The first one here is the space foil, and it has two versions, one that has a hatch you can see through and one that doesn't. Then we've got another see-through armored door with a hatch. This is the rust armored door. So there you go. And last but not least, we've got one more door here for you, the biohazard armor double door. And we'll go ahead and check the back. Just doesn't really have the caution tape. Over here we've got the fallout shelter. and the back of this one's pretty much identical to the rest. So if we go ahead and pop our lights off here, you can see there's a nice little glow on this one. Then we've got the monument door and the Adobe with the glow. Little garage door for the cars. Then we've got that spaceport, or sorry, starship door. There we go. The bubbles, and there's just the female door with the glow. Night and day, day and night. The otherworldly door. And then we have that mainframe. And then we have our space guy, our ultraviolet, and the blocked up doors version with the glow. Then if we head on over to our furnaces, you'll see that the Adobe with the glow actually has like a ring around the edge. Then if we go ahead and check out this one, kind of just glows around the bottom, nothing too special. A little more than usual default. Then over here, you've got some glow through the top and through the design on the back. Then with this one, the fruits kind of look like they light up, but really it's just mostly a light on the front there. Then we can check out the glow in our boxes. You've got the headlights and the taillights. This one's definitely very, very bright. It'd be very easy to find your base. Same with this one here. Nice little light bar kind of simulation there. Very easy to see it says sulfur. And that does it for our glows. Alright, let's jump into the tools and weapons. And first off, we've got a kind of silly rock here, the capybara rock. Now, the fur looks a little bit off. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but the fur might need to be kind of HD'd up a bit if it could be. But it's definitely a silly idea. Next, we've got a stone tool set for you, and has this kind of beautiful shimmer and glimmer to it. And this is called the Unique Artifact Stone Set. And as you can see here, you've got a matching pick, and they also glow. Then we got ourselves a sword here, and this one kind of has an old medieval look to it, as you can see there. Definitely very cool. You got the skull on the hilt, the emerald, and then the blade itself just kind of looks really ancient. Then we've got a couple of DBs. First one here is got a bunch of kind of electronics and so forth going through it, and this is the nuclear launch double barrel. Even on the sides here, you can see some rad symbols in case you were wondering. And there's that reload. Next, we've got another DB, and this is part of the lunar set, so that should look pretty familiar to anyone that likes it or seen it before. Aiming down the sides here, not too much going on really. Lunar set's usually kind of bland, except for, you know, the texture there. And there's that reload. Next up, we've got another shoddy for you, and it's a pumpy, and as you can see, it's designed to look like it is made out of Damascus steel. So there you have that. Aiming down the sides, you got kind of a rusty tip. And there's that reload. Next, we've got some pythons. The first one here is meant to be a toy python. It is the toy camo python, actually, or camo toy, I should say. But it really does look kind of like a hunting camo. So, you know, I wouldn't say it's toy completely. It does also have another version which has kind of like diamond studs on it called the crystal version, which you can see down in the description below. Next, we've got another python. This one's a little more kind of modern look with a kind of urban camo and some nice red highlights to it. Aiming down the sides here, you've got red tips to the sights, but they are not glow sights. Then we've got another python for you. I told you there's a few, and this one has a very kind of racing look to it with the swiftness python. Definitely love that kind of like iron or steel kind of barrel. It kind of has a separate look to it, you know. Aiming down the sides here, you've got the steel versus the orange for the tip. Next, we've got some saps for you, and the first one here is meant to look like the water pistols in the game, which is always creative. Definitely a cool look and pretty easily nailed. This is version 2, of course. Aiming down the sides here, you've got blue versus the yellow. Next, we've got another sap, and is part of the hard suit collection. And yeah, I don't know how I feel about hard suit for the guns. It sounds weird for anything other than armor, but one way or another, it does recognize, make it recognizable as the set. So there you have it. Aim down the sights, so you have a nice little red tip. Next, we have a custom for you. This one's a very bright red color, and it also kind of has a cel-shaded look to it. This is the custom SMG nail gun. And yeah, it definitely has that nail gun look to it. Aim down the sights, it even has a power gauge, so it must be an electric nail gun, so to say. Next, we have another custom for you. It should be pretty obvious what set it is part of, as the chemical burns there should show you. It's the chemical burns custom. Next, we've got one Tommy for you this week, and it's got this friendly little croco on it. And yeah, I mean, he almost looks like he's smiling. You got a crocodile grip though, so I don't know how you might feel about that. Aiming down the sights here, you kind of just have that blue going on, the little kind of lily pad symbol. Next, we've got some MP5s, and the first one here has kind of a bit of industrial look. This is the Loco MP5. Aiming down the sights here, it's pretty much just got a rusted tip to the, silver metal there. There's that nice reload. Next, we've got another MP5 for you, and this one is crazy looking. This is the Elder's Signature, and man, this thing just really, really looks cool. Aiming down the sights, though, they could have maybe done a green on at least one part of the sight, I think. But definitely a very cool MP5. We do have a couple more for you here, and this next one has, I don't know really what to call this one. It's the Dark Impulse. So there you go. Dark Impulse. And on the sides, you do have black versus the white for the sides there. Next, we've got another one for you, and this one is the Redwood MP5, and the whole gun body almost looks like it's made out of a really red painted redwood. So there you go. It almost has a, I don't know, vampire-y hunter feel. I don't know. Aiming down the sights though, everything's kind of red, splotched, and rusted with a black tip to the sight. And there's that reload for us. Next, we've got some SARs, and the first one up is this kind of temple-y looking one. This is the Artifact SAR. Looks like it has complete ruby, and it has a cut-off sights. So yeah, sometimes stuff like this makes it in. I don't know if this will or not. It just kind of depends on Helk. But hey, that could be a huge advantage if this were to make it into the shop. Next, we've got another one for you, and this one has more of a kind of graffiti look going on. It is the Container SAR. Definitely with the container skin coming up, it's going to be a lot of these kind of things popping up. This one has a nice little kind of graffiti urban look to it. Aiming down the sights, you've got some silver sights and a bullet to remind you what to put in there and shoot people with. Next, we've got another SAR for you, and this one has kind of, well, a really similar look to it. And the name's a little too similar, too. It's called the Warhawk Rifle. There's another similar skin out there. Yeah, but hey, there it is. Then we've got another one for you, and this is the version 2 of the Ice Cream Collection SAR. So there you have it, all ice creamy. Aiming down the sights, you've got a pink versus that sky blue. Next, we've got some AKs for you, and this one's actually really cool. This is the high quality AK, and the whole thing just kind of looks like it's made from a bar of high quality, you know what I mean? But then it also has these nice kind of shattered texture to it that looks quite unique as well. It's not just the blandness, Even down the sights here, you've got kind of a silver versus that dark silver, almost black color. Next, we've got another AK. This one's quite bright. It is the Sun... Oh, sorry. Just Celestial. I thought it was Sun Celestial. But it's the Celestial AK. Aim down the sights. You've got black versus silver versus gold for the sights. Next, we've got another AK for you, and this one's more of a kind of raidery look. This is the Dirty Red AR. Aiming down the sights here, you've got kind of black versus the faded paint, I would say. There's that reload. Very quickly. Next, we have a golden AK for you with the Gold Oriental AR. Aim down the sights there. You've got a red tip versus the gold. And there's that reload. Next, we've got another AR for you, and this one kind of has a old war kind of look to it, and well, it's called the Warmonger AR, so hey, there you go, complete with playing cards. Aim down the sights, nice silver versus red there, and a little skull on the back of the stock there. Then we've got another one for you, and this one has a very modern look to it. This is the Under AK. Has a stock and a stockless version. Aim down the sights here, it definitely looks like it has a glow thing going on, but it doesn't. It's actually very metallic-y. And there's that reload. Next, we've got some LRs for you, and we've got another kind of greenish gun with some wings for you. That must have been a trend somewhere. We have the Riot LR 300. Aiming down the sides here, you've got some bright neon green rings and a tip. Next, we've got a very modern looking LR for you. This one here is the Ranger LR. And yeah, it almost kind of feels like a digital camo snakeskin design there with all the little, what are those, hexagons? I think so. Aiming down the sights, you've got very bright red versus the matted black. Next, we've got another LR. This one, again, has two different versions. It has the Sand, which is this one, and then it also has the Ash, which is kind of like a silvery color. So you kind of have a gold and a silver going on. You can check out the silver one, of course, down in the collection link in my video description. Aiming down the sights here, you've got a red ring versus the yellow kind of goldy tips, hard to see depending on light there, to the side. Next, we've got another LR, and this is a version 2, so it should look kind of familiar. It is the Carnivore Hunter, and yeah, it kind of takes up more of the LR. The other pieces are spruced up a bit more, and you do have a color to the tip of the sight, but the rest of this could definitely still use a little more color to it, I think. But hey, some people do like the clean-cut look as well. There's that. Then we have another LR. This should look pretty familiar as it's part of a very popular set that's coming out pretty recently, and this is the Tier 3 LR. Aiming down the sights, you have the red versus the rusting green, as you would expect. And a little switch down in that blank spot, of course. Then we've got a big old M249 for you, and yep, it is the JPEG M249. Definitely a pretty cool look for it, I'd have to say. We'll go ahead and pump a reload so you can see those little JPEG bullets get put in there. And aiming down the sight, there you have it. And we do have one last thing, so we'll go ahead and pull it here. It's a satchel charge. That looks like a code log. Don't know, you know, hey, some people like the novelty of that, I think. It's called the Unlocker Satchel. So there you go. Sound out down in the comment section below which ones you're hoping will pop it in the most. And any kind of other feedback you have, I'll try to get it to the right people. And can't always guarantee anything, but I'll try. That pretty much does it for this week. It's good to be back. Thanks for bearing with me, everyone. Have a good one, and stay rusty.